Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not a dream, she's here.
I'm here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So happy to see all these wonderful smiling faces today. So remember, we have a new thing we're trying. We want to belt out the song. None of "There's sunshine in my soul tonight." No. No to that. I say no. Get out. What we're going to do is we are going to really belt it out like we mean it. We want everybody outside there who's walking along the street to hear us. We really want to be enthusiastic because it's good for the soul to be enthusiastic. So let's really practice belting it out. So to that end, I'm going to be standing up here, whether you like it or not, and I will be belting it out. So let's belt it out together. So stand when you're able. And Rick will certainly pound those curly things there. Here we go. There is sunshine in my soul today. It is glorious and bright, ever glowing with the warming ray. For Spirit is thy light. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is springtime in my soul today, and I know that God is here. The notes of peace sing in my heart, the joys of grace appear. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is gladness in my soul today, and hope and love and praise. For blessings which are giving now are brightening all my days. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul, and there's sunshine in my soul. Fabulous! That was wonderful. What a way to start the wonderful service. I'm sorry, Miss Thomas.
That's okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
That was a great way to start. We do sound kind of mousy up till now.
Not
Now
anymore.
we're not gonna
That was in the past.
Elephants. Welcome to everyone in the sanctuary. Do we have anyone with us visiting for the first time?
Oh, I saw a lady over there. We haven't seen anyone.
I see a lot of Irishmen and Irishwomen. Okay, if you'll please take a moment to turn off your cell phone or silence it. Our reader today is Pam Woods. Our musician is Bill Hoffman, yay. Our speaker is Reverend Maurita, yay. Okay, our reading.
Whoops, it's a leprechaun.
Hi.
Hi.
I have some contemplative notes that I took for you guys today on St. Patrick. He was born in Britain. Both Britain and Ireland are very green in our consciousness, I think. very lush with rocky hills and dwellings made of the abundant stone. My nose is running, I'm sorry. It's easy to summon up visions of great stone monasteries surrounded by very serious, contemplative stone gardens for the dead, the spiritual home of many Catholics on March 17th, a day of holy contemplation and obligation and feasting, which we will do too. We're going to have potatoes, the potatoes of Ireland being so like the stones in the Irish fields. St. Patrick would never have seen Ireland if it were not for the fact, as he confessed, that he was taken away by Irish pirates who captured him as an unbelieving 16-year-old boy who was forced to be a shepherd for 6 years, according to his own confession. Shepherding is such a common theme in the mythology of our spirituality, but in the violent folklore of the 14th century, miracles were born of those who survived the violence of traveling, which St. Patrick was known for. And also he survived the tribal violence of the people that he was preaching to. He survived the violence for those who found his beliefs different from his own and also dangerous, not unlike Christ. And here's a quote. This is a quote from St. Patrick. "Never before did they know of God except to serve idols and unclean things. But now they have become people of God, and they are called children of God." I love how he said "except," admitting that these polytheistic people did know God somehow. There was, according to one of his biographers, a supposed Druid prophecy that caused him some difficulty. It went like this. "Across the sea will come Ad's head, crazed in the head, his cloak with a hole for the head, and his stick bent in the head. He will chant impieties from a table in front of his house. All his people will answer, 'So be it, so be it, so be it.'" The heart continues to unfold. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Pam. Okay, our opening hymn is on page 18, Through the Love of God, verses 1, 2, and 3. Page 18, Through the Love of God, our Father, verses 1, 2, and 3. Stand as you are able. Let's sing with gusto again.
Oh Instead of doing a Bible verse this morning, I wanted to share with you a meditation that was written by Melinda Kramer. And we read it a few weeks ago, in our Wednesday night meeting. And we were so impressed with it. I wanted to share it with you today. My life, substance, intelligence, and power is God. There is nothing more and nothing less than God. I am what I am, whole, perfect, without sin or any so-called affliction, because God is infinite and everywhere present. I have not sinned. I do not fall short of truth. I have not missed the mark of my high calling in Christ Jesus. I am not burdened with environments or opinions. I'm not heavy laden with surrounding conditions. I am not weak or weary with hope deferred. I am in my Father's kingdom, enjoying the power and glory of it. I am free, here and now. As we let those words sink in, affirming to ourselves that indeed I am whole, perfect, without sin, without error, without any so-called affliction, because God is infinite and everywhere present, within me, around me, supporting me, sustaining me, loving me. We do not fall short of truth. We seek to live it. We've not missed the mark of our high calling in Christ Jesus. We're not burdened with environments, with global warming, with polluted air. We are not burdened by the opinions of others, or even our own negative opinions. We are not heavy laden with surrounding conditions, no matter how dark they might look. We have never and will never be weak or weary, with hope deferred to some other time. For hope, faith, burns bright within us, shining not only in us but through us to others, a beacon for others. We each and all are right now in our Father's kingdom, the kingdom of light and love and opportunity and joy, peace, abounding good. I am enjoying the power and the glory and the good of it. I behold it. I see it. I rejoice in it. I am free. Every one of us is free. And so is the whole human race, if they only knew it. We all are free. Free as children of God, right here, right now. Hearing these words, we give thanks. Amen. Shall we say our divine science statement of being, and with feeling, not just words, and think about it. Be it. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You might notice I'm not wearing green. I'm Scottish. This first tune I'm going to play for you, it says it's written by Duke Ellington. However, it is probably written by Billy Strayhorn, who wrote much of the tunes that Duke Ellington's name is on. You probably know Strayhorn for his Low Strings tune, which was Take the A Train. What you may not know is that song came about when he was given the directions on how to get to Harlem. Seriously, that's how he came up with that song. This tune, I'm going to play it in a style by my favorite guitarist, a guy named Kenny Burrell, who happened also to be Duke Ellington's guitarist, favorite. If I can get this here.
It's our time of meditation. If we don't have time during the week to just sit and be, then we certainly do that on Sunday morning. Are there any prayer requests? Not this morning. So we take a deep breath and be. Be that which we already are. Be a center of light and life. Broadcasting. Always, always broadcasting. Love, peace, understanding, and most especially, the certainty that God is within and without, that God is here now, that good is here now, that life and joy, the appreciation of the beauty of this world, whether the trees are bare, or the blossoms are just coming into fullness, whether there is peace and harmony in the people around us, or there is controversy or difficulty, whether there is harmony in our workplace or challenge, great, great challenge. We broadcast what we are and what we know those around us are as well. They are souls. They are spiritual beings walking about in a human experience, learning enormous lessons. Lessons that are full of pain sometimes, frustration, anxiety, and sometimes the sun comes from behind the clouds and we see, in fact, that it is all opportunity. It is blessing. It is hidden good coming forth. How wondrous it is to know the truth of what we are and what God is. Albert Einstein said that perhaps the most important question to be answered is it a friendly universe? And we answer, absolutely yes. It is a love universe. And this day, and every day, we stand, sit, lay down, walk, move in the fullness of that sunlight of God's presence. The wholeness of being that we truly are beaming forth. Right here, right now, we're reminded. But then we have to carry it forth ourselves. We have to keep reminding ourselves. And we have to be it for those whom we encounter who don't yet know it. Is it a friendly universe? It is friendly right where you are. It is loving right where you are. It is peaceful and joyous, life-giving, wise, patient, right where you are. In the next 90 seconds, shall we bask in that presence, consciously feeling it, celebrating it for ourselves and for others, for all the people who serve in our armed forces, for the leadership around the world, including our own leadership in this country. Let us know it for everyone on the prayer list, and especially let us know it this day for the Graham family who face some dark moments. And especially for Joanne. We know the light, the life, the truth, the health that is her truth right now. And during these 90 seconds of silence outside, we rejoice inside, affirming, celebrating the truth of God and the truth of ourselves right now. Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's the beauty of it. We can rest in God, knowing that we are known to the very depths of our being, knowing that we are known as we don't know ourselves, knowing that we are loved unconditionally, knowing that our good is right where we are. We have but to look through different eyes and behold it and utilize it and allow it to bless us this day. We look anew and rejoice in it. Amen. Shall we say the Lord's Prayer, the affirmative version? And think about it as you say it. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom is come. Thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Thou givest us this day our daily bread. Thou forgivest us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou leadest us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thou art the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Well, I think I had some little green leaves or whatever they were, but I forgot to get them. I have to wait another 365 days before I can pull them out. Today is St. Patrick's Day, of course, and no matter your heritage, even if you're Scottish, who said that? Still did. We're all just a little bit Irish today. Now, Pam did a lot of work for me already, and I thank you. He was born actually in England, 5th century, but as a teen, he was kidnapped by this group of Irish pirates, taken back to Ireland. He was a slave there for 6 years. He was a shepherd, though, during that time. And so he spent many, many, many hours by himself out in the fields with the sheep. And it was during those lonely hours as a shepherd that he began praying. He hadn't been a prayer. He hadn't really been a believer before. But he began praying and developing a relationship with God during that time. And that gradually led to his conversion to Christianity. He had time to think about it all. And later he said that those 6 years were crucial to his spiritual development. And talk about a horrendous situation that brought forth absolutely remarkable good. But one day he heard a voice. He heard a voice. And it told him that he would soon go home and that his ship was ready. And upon that, he hightailed it out of there. He left his masters, walked about 200 miles to the nearest port, and somehow persuaded the captain to take him aboard. Well, they sailed for 3 days and ended up in the wilderness in England. And after some very dangerous adventures where everybody got off the boat at the same place he did. And they almost starved to death, but he prayed. And God brought forth what they needed. He finally got home to his family. But he kept on studying Christianity and then was ordained. And a few years after getting home, he had a vision urging him to go back to Ireland, which he did. And as Pam said, they were worshiping idols at the time, and they were a warlike people. And he went on to say, the sons and daughters of the leaders of the Irish are seen to be monks and virgins of Christ. That's how persuasive his preaching and his belief was. Now, Ireland was not an easy mission for him at all. Patrick was a foreigner, came way down there in Britain. He would not accept any money from the rich, including the king. He wouldn't. So he had no allies. He had no protection. He went about the island without protection. And one time he was beaten, he was robbed of everything he had, and he was put into chains. I don't know how he talked himself out of it, but he did. Another time he was imprisoned for 60 days. But he prevailed, traveling around the island, literally baptizing thousands of people. He was later appointed the Bishop of Ireland. March 17th is said to be the day he died. Oh, we're not absolutely sure. But we honor him today, don't we? We honor him for turning to God always for help in those difficult times. Following that inner voice that spoke so loudly and said, leave, or come, or go. And he did it. And we especially congratulate and honor him today for following that light and sharing that spiritual light with countless people in the country of Ireland, which is, to this day, largely Catholic. Today, I'm going to be talking about feel happier. Happier, yeah. This past week, I was reading an article, and reference was made in passing to a happiness set point. And I'd heard about that before, but it's been a long time. I couldn't remember anything about it. So I did some research, and I decided maybe it was something you folks might enjoy hearing about. I thought it was interesting. The set point theory of happiness says that our inner level of well-being and contentment and happiness is largely determined by heredity and by personality traits ingrained in us very early in our lives. It's supposed to be a pretty constant thing throughout our lives, but it can change for a period of time, depending on the circumstances. But our degree of happiness, no matter what the circumstances are, we will return to that set point. Now, for instance, you have a really big career success, or you get a lot of money, or earn a lot of money, get married, or you get a brand new home, a beautiful new home. And boy, is that going to increase your happiness levels for a time. But then it goes right back to the same level that it was before. And it's the same with the tragedies in our lives. There's a very, very serious illness, or the breakup of a marriage, or perhaps a breakup of a long-term relationship. Your house burns down with everything you own in it. The person you love the most dies. We might think, well, we'll never get over it. I'll never be happy again. But we are such resilient people, so resilient, far more than we think. We adapt gradually to the new normal and then equally gradually revert to our usual level of happiness. Seems to be the way it works all the time. Now, Aristotle, believe it or not, once said, happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. And later on he said, happiness depends on ourselves. And then that brilliant mind came up with 4 different levels of happiness. First happiness was the happiness that comes from material objects, external things, like a new car. Ha ha, boy, great, smells good, looks great, yes. Or a special vacation, or maybe a really, really marvelous meal. And we're just bouncing along, we really are happier. But it's short-lived. It goes away quickly that first level. Now, Aristotle's level 2 was happiness through ego gratification. Happiness for some came from being better, being more admired than other people, you know, the important people when we walk into the room, we're it, you know, or winning. Winning, that's the big thing. And for some people who have a competitive nature, that is the whole canola, winning. But continuously comparing yourself with others is just dangerous. Why? Because nobody can be the best all the time. You're always second best or 122nd best sometimes. So this happens, and the winning happens, but it too is short-lived. And comparing ourselves always with other people and trying to be better than they are can lead to a sense of worthlessness if we're not hitting up at the top all the time. Now, the third level Aristotle talked about is the happiness, and this you know, the happiness one gets from doing good for others and making the world a better place. That's based on our need to connect with other people, to experience compassion and friendship, unity, love. And so at this level, we're focusing a great deal more on others than we're focusing on ourselves. And that is far, far more long-lasting in affecting how happy we are than those other two levels. But of course, there is a drawback. In level 3, the drawback is human imperfection. People disappoint us. People hurt us. But the risk involved in kindness to others is worth it, even if it is painful sometimes. Final level, 4. And Aristotle had a hard time putting this into words, or we have a hard time transcribing what he said, maybe. It was a consistent happiness, high-level happiness, but it was balanced between all these other levels and one's spirituality, or finding the deepest calling for ourselves in the arts, or in science, or in teaching, or in seeking that inner meaning of life, in service, and on and on. Your heart's desire manifested, but you're being involved with it on an ongoing basis. That was his take on happiness. But have opinions changed very much since 300 BC? Well, human nature hasn't changed since then. And researchers today tell us that we absolutely can reset. We can increase our happiness set point. So we don't go down lower, we come up higher. And we're happier, much happier, most of the time. But how? Well, the researchers agreed with Aristotle's third level. You do good. You're kind to other people. And there's something inside that touches you. Compassion, love. Those they transcend time and place. And they make you feel so good. You know, one teacher gave a group of volunteer students the homework of doing 5 acts of kindness during that week. And then their self-esteem and their happiness set point after that week increased. Of course, there had to be a control group. This was a scientific experiment. There had to be a control group, another group of students who were not given any homework like that. And of course, they saw no increase in their happiness set level. They didn't feel any happier at all. So, to reap that inner uplift. Kindness had to be done with a positive inner prompting. Free will. I'm doing this out of my desire to be kind, to be generous and gentle. It doesn't work. It does not bring up your happiness level if it is forced on you by others, or if you're wrongly motivated. If it's ego that's motivating you, or it's shame or guilt or something like that, it does not increase your happiness level. Paradoxically, if somebody gets depressed and they need a boost of happiness the most, they're unfortunately the ones who are least likely to think of extending themselves at that time. Perhaps they don't feel like they have any energy to do it. But if they extended a kindness to others around them, volunteered or something like that, they would be uplifted. It would be the result would be just an uplift in their own feelings, raising their own set level of happiness. There was one therapist, and she suggested to her patients that they start thinking about their daily habits and behaviors. Were they taking care of their bodies with wholesome food and exercise and enough rest? And how were they watching their thoughts? I mean, were they replacing negative thoughts with thinking positively and optimistically? And probably as important as anything else, or maybe a little more important, were they choosing friends who were doing exactly the same things? Because then everybody supports everybody else. Now this definitely helps to raise the happiness level and your self-esteem as well. Well, there are die-hard experts that say the happiness set point is totally controlled by heredity and those personality traits that we get early on. That's it. That's the whole story. But there are lots and lots of others who say, no, we can really increase how happy we are on a day-to-day basis. Enjoy that feeling of well-being and positive expectation and greater happiness than we had before. There's a wonderful statement in the book of Revelation. He that sat upon the throne said, "Behold, I make all things new." Now that's a promise. And God's promises stand true forever. They're never taken away. There's a simple thing. It takes a little effort, but not very much, that will bring newness to us. Guaranteed. Can't all of us afford to put aside 10 minutes for God each morning? Oh, no, I can't. It's a big rush. I got to take my shower. I got to shave, put on my... Can't eat something before I rush out the door. I can't. Just can't. You can. With a little bit of planning, you can. 10 minutes. 10. And that time spent in prayer, meditation, or saying affirmations, or reading something short and spiritually uplifting, listening to our church's words of inspiration message on the phone, pick up the phone, reading the Bible. 10 minutes. And those 10 minutes will change the feeling of the whole day. The whole way you start your day influences your whole day. So you'll begin, your day with an expectation of newness, of greater good, of more happiness. 1 Corinthians at 5:17 says this, "Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new." If any man be in Christ. And what does that mean? It means to be determined to live expressing those spiritual virtues, strengths within. Being God's image right where you are. Being God's understanding and wisdom. You're being the voice of peace and concern and understanding and kindness. That 10 minutes every day will enable all things. I'll say that again. Old things will pass away. And newness and happiness and greater good are going to take their place. That is the place of what was less. Proverbs says, "Thine expectation shall not be cut off." What we expect, we experience. Now, I had first-hand experience of that, and probably most of you have heard this story, but I went to Catholic school for the first 10 years. And then I switched to a big public high school. And I got there and I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. They had a kind of mental freedom that I had never gotten in former schools. Small classes. There was 60 in a class in the Catholic school. Small classes, discussions in classes. I could express an opinion. I could ask a question. It was wonderful. And they had a very extensive music program. They had a girls' choir and a boys' choir, an a cappella choir. They had a marching band and an orchestra, and they put on, these musicals. Big things. And they had convocations, and they also had music at them. And it was wonderful. I was very much involved with singing at the time. And couldn't have been more perfect for me. I used to get to school in a trolley car every morning. They didn't have any singing back then. I'd get on the trolley car, go to the middle of town, and go out across the other side of town and where the high school was. And every morning as I rode along, I would think to myself, I wonder what wonderful things are going to happen today. And they did. My expectation was not cut off. It became my experience. So expect the best. For that is exactly what's going to unfold for you. Exactly. One final thing. A lot of the therapists say that what will reset your happiness set point higher than it's ever been before is gratitude. Our old friend, gratitude. How many times have I stood up here and just told you, say thank you, God, or just thank you. Say it over and over again. At first we just say it mechanically, thank you. But then after a while, you begin noticing how many things you have to be grateful for. And then marvelously, more and more things seem to appear in your life that you can be grateful for. And it's ongoing. You know, one thing, thank you, thank you, thank you. A deeper sense of connection with God, a greater happiness, and a greater amount of the good that you need and desire comes to you from saying, thank you, thank you. Do you want to be happier? A few nods, yeah. Good. Then what you have to do is be kind to others, even when they're snappy at you. Be kind anyway. Be generous. Care for your mind and your body. I mean, it's got to last you quite a while. So take care of it. Practice gratitude. 10 minutes a day in the morning for God. That sets your whole day. That's a lot to remember. It only should be 3 things that I want you to remember. So, well, take it down. Kindness, gratitude, 10 minutes, 3 things. Walk out of here with those 3 things in your life, in your mind, in your actions. And a higher happiness set point will be yours. Guaranteed. Let's close our eyes. How blessed we are. We've got recipes, spiritual recipes that make our lives, our bodies, so much better than they have been in the past. We can depend on them. God's promises. I'll make all things new for you. And God stands by His promises. Those new things take a little bit of doing to achieve, but not much. Not much when you weigh that much effort versus that much benefit. Gratitude. 10 minutes for God. That's so little. For all you give us, beloved Father, Mother, friend, teacher, protector, beloved companion, inspirer, for all that, we give deepest thanks. Amen.
This time I'll try not to blow you away. I guess I'm into favorites today. This tune I'm going to play now is by one of my favorite composers, Antonio Carlos Jobim. And it's a wave. So you can ride the wave as he just was talking about. Let's make sure this is going to work. Yeah.
just made my day. That's my favorite. Anywhere I go, I request the wave. So beautiful. And Maurita, thank you so much for that message. And it made me think the days that I connect with God in the morning before school and say, how can I have a great day with my students? How can my students have a great day? It turns out to be a great day. And even if they act the same, I respond differently. And when I don't have a good day, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do it this morning. So, thank you. Okay, now it's time for blessings of the gift. So, gifts. Okay, and if we can say together our statement found in our orders of service. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
Thank you so much.
Please take a prayer stick, hold them in the light, and you'll be in the light yourself. And would you turn one to another and say, thank you for your gift to God's Word.
Thank you for your
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to take the opportunity to just thank everybody for everything that they do. I try to do that individually sometimes, and I miss people, but I'm very grateful for everything that everybody does in this church. You might think what you do is not important, but everything is important, and so we thank you so much. And welcome back, Kate. It's so great to see this smiling face here this morning. It's been a while. We're glad to see you back and smiling, and how we will continue to be with you in prayer whenever you need it, okay? Also, there are people that aren't here, and whether you're here or gone for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you're always missed. And the door's always open. So if you're gone and you've gone for a month and you feel like, oh, maybe I better not go back, well, yes, the door's always open. So, but you are missed, whether it's if you're gone for a week or 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever, so you are missed. So just wanted to pass that on. Also, the flowers this week are sponsored by the church for St. Patrick's Day. They're not green, but feel free to take some for yourself. Pam Woods talked to me yesterday when we were walking. One of her friends wants to do a laughing yoga class on one of the Thursday nights that we do something else. So I'm willing to give up the movie night, or she's willing to give up her Thursday night. If anybody's interested in doing that for a Thursday night, so we'll talk about that after while we're eating today. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know.
What is it again?
It's called Laughing Yoga. talk to
Doesn't
Pam.
yoga make you laugh anyway?
Some of it does, yes. So anyhow, we'll talk to Pam about it, but I want to put that out there and see if people are interested in it, and we'll try that on a Thursday night and see what happens. Also, this week, as far as I know, Pam is doing her journaling class at 6:30. EJ's not in here, but she asked me to announce she has a computer and a printer and a desk for sale. So if anybody's interested in that or know anybody that's interested, please see EJ in the next room when we get ready to, while we're eating. Also, as I said before, I announced it all month that this is election year for 2 board members. Dale's vice president is up, and he has said he does not want to be on the board. We do have a volunteer. Nancy has volunteered to be on the board. So if anybody else is willing to do that, my position as president is up for re-election. I will run one more time. If nobody else wants it, if somebody wants it, come on, you can have it. So, anyhow, but we have to know by next Sunday, and then we'll put the ballots out in April, and so the new board will take over. But we appreciate Dale, all that he's done for the last 2 years, and anyhow, we appreciate that. Also, next year, there's some things we want to work on for the church to get some things done around here, but also one of our main focus will be on trying to get the message out to more people in this community about our church. We're going to be doing some things, hopefully, to get the message across. And people have said, you know, we have such a great message here. Why isn't the church built? Well, I don't know the answer. Maurita doesn't know the answer. I mean, it's been like that ever since I've been here. You know, we've had people come, people go. We've had a small congregation, but you know, there's people out there that I know, and I know you all know people that need this message, but to get them to come to church is like not happening. But we are doing Facebook Live. I do know that there are several people that have watched that I have invited to church before. So hopefully, and you can tell your friends about it too. And we do it every Sunday. So maybe if they listen or watch it enough that they'll take the plunge and come on to the church. We're not going to do anything to them. So anyhow, so if you have any suggestions for how we might get the message out to the rest of this community or this city, we're open for suggestions for anything to help. Anyhow, I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you have suggestions, see any of the board members, see Maurita, and we'll see what we can do. Also, we've done this in the past. We've been, you know, and I know that all of y'all do this, but we're going to just designate the next month or so, invite a friend on Sunday and see what happens. So just keep it. But I know that several of y'all do that anyhow, but we're going to just say for the to the end of April, just take every Sunday and invite somebody and see if they come. Do you have anything, Maurita? Did you want to say anything? Okay. Anybody else? All right, let's go.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, our closing hymn is page 96, Open My Eyes That I May See. We'll sing all 3 verses. Page 96, Open My Eyes That I May See. All 3 verses.
One of these.
It's not coming.
Simple, easy, gratitude, kindness, and at least 10 minutes with God every morning. And watch that happiness set level rise and rise. God wants us happy. We want happiness, and it is available more than ever before. Thank you that it is so. Amen.